أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. If you have seen the unimaginable photographs and videos and images in Gaza, and you ever wondered that how those people find their strength and courage and patience and they still keep on keeping on, today I'm going to give you that secret. And that secret is the last half of Surah Al-Imran, which we will inshallah review today. If I could tell you to recite the last 100 ayat and Juz 4 every week, every day, as therapy for you, and so that you can become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this would be it. This surah is Surah Al-Imran overall, and especially this part of it, the last half of it, is nothing but beautiful du'as, counsel of encouragement, counsel for patience. This surah talks about patience over and over and over. This surah has one of the most famous ayat in the Quran that you hear recited. It's all encompassed in the last 100 ayat of Surah Al-Imran. In the beginning, just a quick summary, and then we'll go into our dua, inshallah. There are so many du'as, I didn't know which one to pick, so I just picked a dua that we will talk about. So very quickly, this surah is about in Medina, when Muslims, after the Battle of Badr, they are being attacked by hypocrisy from two fronts at least. One, the hypocrisy among the Jewish community, where they were trying to backstab Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Muslims, and then from within the Muslim community, and they were pretend Muslims, and they were actually hypocrites. They were coming and attacking the Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about how Muslims shouldn't break apart, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the unity. For example, the famous ayah you've heard, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That's in this surah. That hold on to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do not divide yourself. Also, the encouragement of going out and doing tabligh. Some of the most major movements in Islam probably got inspired from the ayat in this surah. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas." You are the best of the nations that has come out for people. تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ, because you command the good and you forbid the evil, and so on and so forth. So the whole backdrop is really the Battle of Uhud and the hypocrisy, where 1,000 Muslims are facing 3,000 non-Muslims to fight. But then out of those 1,000 Muslims, 300 were taken away by the main hypocrite, Abdullah ibn Ubay, and only 700 Muslims were left. And Muslims fell into, they experienced a lot of losses in the Battle of Uhud. 70 of the top martyrs, and of course the Sayyid al-Shuhada, Hamza, the uncle of the Prophet, radiallahu anhu, also was martyred here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is talking about sabr and taqwa and continued istighfar and spending in the fight of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you continue to believe and continue to be patient, then you will be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Do not grieve, do not be saddened. You are superior than these people only if you believe. And if you believe, then you need to show patience, and you need to have taqwa, and you need to do istighfar, and so on and so forth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps reminding us that the trials and tribulations that are coming down to you, they're not new to you. They've been sent to the nations before you, and this is a trial and a test, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can root out the evil can separate the evil from the good. Evil from the good, and that's the wisdom of the tribulations. And the beautiful surah goes on, and the last ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاصْبِرُوا وَصَابِرُوا وَرَابِطُوا وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. And then you will be successful. That you need to continue to show patience, encourage patience, and then you need to watch out and be aware of what's going to come while showing patience, because you will face a lot of atrocities. So in the midst of this, the dua very quickly, the reason I started with Gaza and the people of Palestine, what is a common phrase you hear them say? What is that common phrase? Does anybody know? Hasbunallahu wa wakeel. This is in this surah. So I picked that. I know I'm going long. I'm just going to take 2 more minutes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٍ. Do not think that those who are dying in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as they're dead, they are actually shuhada, and they are reaping from the bountiful rewards that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them in the hereafter. Okay? And they are happy, and they're inviting everybody to come join them. الَّذِينَ اسْتَجَابُوا لِلَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ, because they obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they obeyed the Prophet and they didn't break off. And whenever trials and atrocities are coming to them, and of course they passed away and they became martyrs, they are the ones who did ihsan, and for them is tremendous reward. And then there were people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ قَالَ لَهُمُ النَّاسِ, people were telling them, and these were the hypocrites that were trying to whisper to the believers, إِنَّ النَّاسَ قَدْ جَمَعُوا لَكُمْ, there are people gathering around you, فَخْشَوْهُمْ, you should be scared of the people. فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا, but instead of getting fearful, their iman increased. وَقَالُوا, and they said, حَسْبُنَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ, Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best of protectors. He will protect us. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then when they had this attitude, again, all of these du'as are really attitudes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then فَانْقَلَبُوا مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَفَضْلٍ, then they returned back victorious by the mercy of Allah and His grace, and no harm touched them. إِنَّمَا ذَلِكُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ, it is shaitan who puts fears in the heart, but fear me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَخَافُونِ إِن كُنْتُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ, and if you're true believers, you only fear me, you don't fear the people. وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.